This video does not contain spoilers for Deadpool and Wolverine, and I please ask that nobody post any spoilers in the comments section down below for the sake of everybody's movie-going experience. He's the best there is at what he does, and there are so many figures for Wolverine, I couldn't even fit all of mine in one shot. It's morphin' time! Hello, this is Soundout here, and listen up, bubs. Wolverine's got so many toys. When I went to put together this video, which is every Wolverine figure I own, two things occurred to me. One, I could not fit all my Wolverines in the initial shot or the ending shot. This is just the highlights, I guess. And two, I have Wolverine toys I can't find. I've pretty much been getting Wolverine figures ever since I was a kid, so most of my lifetime at this point. So there's like things where I have parts of like Mutations Wolverine from the old X-Men line, and I have memories of other Wolverine figures. I just can't find them, so those won't be included, and we might have to do an update later if I ever organize my stuff better. There's more Wolverine toys than what you're gonna see in this video that I own. Wolverine is one of the most merchandised characters in history. So it's kind of amazing that I have as many as I do in one spot. So we're going to go through all the versions of Wolverine, whether it's comic-based, whether it's movie-based, whether it's Daken, whether it's Laura, or it's Logan. All the Wolverines are included in this. It's going to be a little bit of a long one, I think. I don't think I've had this many entries in an every figure of video so far, and I've done several. I just did Deadpool. I've done others for Spider-Man 2099, then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Casey Jones, and Doctor Doom. I thought the Doctor Doom one ran pretty long, but we're going to get into this and not waste too much more time. You also might see, compared to other videos where I'll look at each thing individually, I may group up some of these things. Like, I'll probably throw all the yellow Wolverines together. So it's going to be kind of fun, and I hope you do enjoy it. And if you do enjoy this type of video, please hit the like button. Helps this video get out to more people, helps the channel grow, and hit subscribe and the notification bell if you haven't already to keep up with future uploads and more videos. Like I say, probably another Wolverine update in the future. I mean, the Astonishing Wolverine, the new one, didn't make it in time for this video, so there's still more Wolverines to come, and more Marvel videos, of course, on the channel. So without further ado, crack open a beer, sit at your favorite bar, and let's take a look at the brawler from Canada himself and his two kids in the form of every Wolverine figure I own. Alright, let's start off with the Lego Wolverines. We got three of them here. This one was from the set I mentioned in the Deadpool video. It was Deadpool, Magneto, and Wolverine. This is the Wolverine. He's got like an unmasked look, the bare arms, he's got the claws. I always thought claws in Lego Wolverine looked a little weird, but that's kind of, I have a position like that. I know officially they're like this, but I think that, you know, claws on the side of the fist. He's not always doing forward motion. But yeah, pretty good. It's got like this neat little detail where they painted his cowl down. He does have a neutral expression as well, which is pretty cool. So that was like the first, I think, Lego Wolverine. I know there were several since. The next one I got was this one, which is the Lego mech suit. They do a lot of these mech figures. I mostly get them for the little like minifigure, but here is the Wolverine here. It's actually very similar in that it's the sleeveless style, complete sleeveless style that we have here. And it's a little under detailed in ways, but it looks pretty good. It has to have the cowl this time. He does have a smiling head, and then he's got kind of a scowl, and the scowl has white eyes. So if you want him with the white eye lenses, you have that option as well, which is pretty cool. And then lastly, we have the character minifigure series X-Men 97 version, which is probably the best one yet. It's the most detailed, it's the most painted. He's got the actual shoulder pads painted in. He's got the arm hair. He does have two different expressions, kind of serious, and then he's got kind of open. So if you had like the right hairpiece, like if you had this one, you could do an unmasked Logan pretty nice and easy. So pretty cool. I do like me some Lego from time to time, and as you can see, I do like the Wolverines in particular, apparently. Let's look at some Disney Store figures. Yeah, there's not really order to this video. I'm just kind of putting things together as needed. This Wolverine was part of a set of static X-Men figures. They do these for a lot of franchises at the Disney Store and stuff. If you've ever been to a Disney Store, you've probably seen them. It's just static figures of characters from a movie or show. There was this X-Men pack shortly after they got the rights to the X-Men movies from buying Fox. The Wolverine's not the best one. There's a really good Jean Grey and Storm. I'll have to do some more videos to show off some of these. But yeah, it's a basic Wolverine. I don't know why his skin looks like it's melting. He's got like Deadpool skin going on. But the much cooler was the Disney Toy Box series. These were action figures based on the designs from the Disney Infinity video game that came out after the Infinity game ended. So there's some designs and some characters that got into this line that didn't exist in Disney Infinity, like Wolverine. And this was pretty cool. It's the only X-Men one they did. I think the line died when Bob Chapek killed the Disney stores and made me sad. But this was pretty good. I actually really like this. It's got kind of like the Astonishing X-Men look, very, very Wolverine the X-Men vibe with the cartoon style. He has the Muramasa sword, which is pretty awesome, and a sheath for it, which I really like, because I don't have any other Wolverines with a sheath. He does have a swappable head, and he's got the same kind of gimmick that some of the old ToyBiz figures did, where you could like extend the claws, like with these little like levers in his hand. I found it sometimes just easier just to pull on the claw, but I think it's cool that the claws do extend. They don't fully like shrink up, like they don't move too far, but it's kind of a nice throwback. This line is so cool, and I wish it got to continue, but I think one of the last releases was actually the Spider-Man 2099, so at least I got that going. But pretty nice figure overall. Just a couple cool things from recent times. All right, here we got our 3 3/4 inch Wolverine figures. This is the Marvel Universe one. I believe this is a pack-in with the Sentinel, the blue and silver one that I have somewhere. I somehow misplaced an entire Sentinel. But this was pack-in with that. I believe that's this version. Marvel Universe was the line that took the place of Marvel Legends for several years. The industry decided that 3 3/4 inch was like the most viable after like the 2008 recession that happened in the US. And so it was kind of a time where this was the main collecting line. These are pretty good. They had like double joint knees and stuff. I have several because I was collecting them, but about the time I started collecting Marvel Universe, about the time Marvel Legends came back, and boy, do I like larger figures. But anyways, he's pretty cool. We have the X-Men 97 X Epic Heroes series. This was the replacement for that line. These are more articulated than the 5 points of articulation, but not by much. Like the Wolverine's got shoulder movement, it moves out a little bit, but he doesn't rotate very well. His elbow's very limited, and it rotates. The hips are limited, and the knees are limited as well. And there's no ankle joints, so he pretty much just has to stand pretty stock. And his neck doesn't exist. He just, this is like a head on shoulders. He also comes with a slashing effect that is way too big, way too overdone. Like this could have just been a lot simpler. And it looks okay, but like, I don't know what's up with the telekinetic energy gauntlet. He's not like Jean Grey or Kid Omega. Like, very strange. But the crowning achievement here is this nice brown suit Wolverine. As will be mentioned, I'm sure, again in this video, I love brown suit Wolverine over the yellow and blue, personal preference. And so when it came to the retro 3.75 inch line, the ones that were kind of emulating old Kenner Star Wars style, when they probably should have been emulating old ToyBiz style, but, you know, semantics. This is the brown suit repaint of the actual yellow and blue version, which also means his boots are kind of wrong. They're also unpainted. There's missing the black striping, but when we, you know, semantics aside, it looks nice on the card because I really like this card art of him. But yeah, pretty cool. So that's some 3 3/4 inch Hasbro Wolverines. You know, I don't think I've ever talked about Nendoroids on the channel before, but Nendoroids are a line of Japanese figures by Good Smile Company that are kind of in this chibi style. And of course I have the Wolverine. It's funny, I don't actually own any other import Wolverines. I don't have the Mafex, for example, but I do have this Nendoroid. I didn't get the Mafex Wolverine because I heard bad things about the QC on him, and I was like, oh, I don't know, and it was before I really got into Mafex. But if they reissue the brown suit version, I'm in. But anyways, this is kind of a cute little chibi Wolverine. When I first started buying Nendoroids, they were only like the style that had like the swappable limbs. This is one of the first ones I've had that has like articulation, which I think is really cool. He's got the Muramasa sword. This is the unmasked head. I just like how he has this face where it looks like he's judging you. He even has a little down cowl. And what's cool too is he comes with this little half Sentinel head. So if you want him like standing on top of the Sentinel head, you can totally do that, which I just think is super fun and super cool. And it's usually how I have him displayed. Like he just conquered a Sentinel, which I think is awesome. So, you know, you got that going on. I think he's cool. I think he's neat. He does come with some other accessories, of course. I mean, I did bring the box out just for comparison. He's got another claw hand. He's got the masthead, so you can see how the masthead looks. And then you can see some of the other poses. I really like that unmasked head a whole lot, so I just stuck with it. Even though there's technically more face options with the masked head, I just thought I like the unmasked one. So there's my Nendoroid Wolverine. Okay, so a lot of my ToyBiz Wolverines, like I said, I can't find them. They're in a tub somewhere, I'm sure. But these are a couple I do have, and I do know where they're at. So first of all, this is a Dark Phoenix Saga 4-pack that was exclusive to FAO Schwartz. It's got Dark Phoenix stuff. It's got, you know, Dark Phoenix, the light up hair. You got Corsair, you got Ch'ad. It does have this spacesuit Wolverine, which you can kind of see behind the art there because he's kind of been blocked a little bit. But it is a spacesuit Wolverine. This is the artwork they showed for it. I definitely think one of these is not like the other three, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun, goofy variant. And then this, speaking of fun and goofy, this is a X-Men Classics re-release of the Wolverine 4x4 and the Wolverine figure. This is one that's unmasked. I think it's based on the first ToyBiz mold. He's got the spring-loaded claws. I'm actually not open this. It is pretty sealed inside, so I'm not going to do that here. Maybe I will in the future. It does have this thing where it has rotating grinders and claw projectile. Claw projectile sounds fun. Rotating grinders, like they're just like, yeah, throw Sabretooth into this meat grinder. It literally says, flip open hood reveals rotating grinder. Roll vehicle and watch the grinder churn the wheels. So yeah, if you want to sacrifice your Sabretooth figure to your Wolverine 4x4, I guess you can. A little gruesome there, but hey, you know, that's ToyBiz. They did some weird stuff. Alright, so here's the 12-inch Marvel Legends Wolverine. This is part of the 12-inch scale line that Hasbro did for a bit. I do believe, if I remember correctly, we did get this before we got a yellow tiger stripe suit in the regular Marvel Legends, like the 6-inch line, which was kind of nutty. This guy also came with a ton of accessories. If you notice some of these head sculpts, like here's like the Wolverine masked head sculpt, right? And if you look at the unmasked Logan head sculpt, these look very similar because I think they reused these sculpts and then just shrunk them down. Same with this Berserker head, like this Rage head, because they have a figure later that basically has like a similar expression. But this guy's really well detailed. He's got like texture on the boots. He's got like full articulation. He's got toe joints in them. These were really nice figures. I had a couple of them. You got a down cowl. He has these two regular shoulder pads. I got him with the bullet hole shoulder pads because these are supposed to be armor. So that's kind of cool that they actually added some armor detail, and he did have fists as well. Really cool figure overall. The Marvel Legends 12-inch line, kind of underrated in a lot of ways, and it would have been nice for it to continue, but I did think it was a niche of the niche, and it just wasn't going to last forever, but a really nice Wolverine came out of it. Okay, so getting into the Marvel Legends of it, we have 5 Tiger Stripe Yellow suited Wolverines. That's I'm going to group them by type. This was the first. This is the Apocalypse Wave Jim Lee style Tiger Stripe Wolverine. Kind of a shrunk down version of the 12-inch. You've got, you know, the claws that, as you can see, are super floppy on mine. I'm so glad we don't use this style claw anymore. They were just too thin. It was cool to have them removable, but like they're just too thin once you put them back in, too loose. But this is pretty much a template for a lot of Wolverine figures going forward. It's got a lot of cool molding decisions, which I think is pretty neat. Now, we did get a variation of this in the form of the one from the Love Triangle 3-pack with Scott and Jean. This is the Bone Claws version, because you see he's got the Bone Claws, so you know, your post-fatal attractions, or your Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Bone Claws Wolverine. Stay tuned. I'm going to do a video on Marvel vs. Capcom and how many figures we have that represent the games. But anyways, this head is the one I was talking about with the 12-inch, with the hair sticking out. Looks like the same sculpt, just shrunk down, a little less detailed. But it's really cool. It's got like nicks in the hand here. There's even like holes in it. That's how you do battle damage. You really get into it. But pretty much the same figure otherwise. It's just painted different. Like this is more of a yellow, this is more of an orange, which is kind of a thing they did. They have like 2 versions. A lot of the characters that wear primarily yellow is that you can get kind of an orangish tint or a yellow tint. This is the X-Men 97 version, which is of course based on the animation. And I like this one a whole lot. This is like a really upgraded mold. You've got, you know, your inset pin arms and legs. You got your arm hair sculpted on. Would have been nice if it's painted, but it's sculpted. I like the way that the head's done, and just overall just felt like a nice improvement to that design. Now, going back in history, there was the first appearance Wolverine, which came with the 80th anniversary Hulk. This is not anybody's favorite look, I don't think, but it is that original kind of crazy cowl before they changed him up in Giant Size X-Men and gave him the look we all know now. But it's pretty cool. It's a pretty nice overall figure. And then we have the Return of Wolverine, also known as Hot Claws Wolverine. This is after his death, and he came back, and he had these burning claws, and in a variation of the Astonishing X-Men suit. Similar, but the shoulder pads are black instead of blue. I do look forward to getting the Astonishing X-Men Wolverine. We'll see if I find him to be better than the X-Men 97 one, because that's pretty nice. But for me personally, just because of personal preference, none of these could ever top a really nice brown suit Wolverine. So here's the brown suit Wolverines. Quite a few here. The first one we got, and it's not actually in the right package. The first one we got is this one from the Juggernaut wave, which is my favorite look. I love this suit a lot. I just really do. I think the more muted colors just fit Wolverine. The reason he's here on this retro card is because I do like the retro carded version better, which is a little bit more accurate to like the 80s coloring. With the slightly lighter colors, still muted, but not like it's not super bright, but it's a little bit less muted. He also did have the painted arm hair, which was a huge benefit. This guy came with an unmasked head that's on one of these figures. I don't know which one, to be honest. Also, you may notice these are not his original hands. These are the Brood Wolverine's hands, because I just like the claws better, and I just like that he has like an open sort of pose to him. So there's that. Those are the two versions of that. We did get the House of X, Powers of X brown suit Wolverine with two different heads. This is the Powers of X head with the beard. This was just, kick off the Krakoa era. I liked how he wore the brown suit again in the Krakoa era. I liked how it had sort of the newer style boots and stuff. It's kind of a really cool look to him overall. We've got, of course, the Wolverine nobody wanted, which I was like, okay, fine. This was the shirtless Wolverine from the 5-pack that came with like Mastermind and Callisto and stuff. I didn't mind that 5-pack because I wanted everybody from it. The Wolverine was the only one I wouldn't have bought on its own, but hey, I mean, if they're throwing it in, it's fine. He also came with some really good Logan heads that don't look weird, because there's a lot of weird looking Logan heads. This is actually a pretty good one. And then we have the most recent, which is the Brood Possessed Wolverine, who came with those cool claw hands that are sitting on him, even though the colors don't match. This is pretty cool though, just to have a Brood Possessed Wolverine. Though once again, I would have liked to have just bought Lilandra and not have to buy the figure. I talked about that when I reviewed him in my short. But anyways, that's our brown suit Wolverines. I'm still waiting for my fancy upgrade one. Where's the inset pins? Where's the modern articulation style? Like, I feel like it's coming in at any time, and I'm very much looking forward to it. So Logan is one of those characters that actually gets civilian figures, unlike a lot of superheroes, like what I would not give for like a Clark Kent. But like, Logan actually gets civilian figures, which is pretty cool. We got a couple variations here. This is the white tank top version with this I didn't like this head, very snarly looking head, just not great. They did remember to paint the arm hair, which was nice. I believe this one was actually included with this bike, but the later single-packed black tank top Logan, which came with this cowboy hat head, which, see, when I do multiple figures, I have to move things. This cowboy hat Logan, the black tank top one, that was like my preferred at that point, so I put him on the bike, and I just had him pose for the bike. I wasn't going to change it. They also remembered, painted details and stuff, but I like him in kind of like tipping his hat before he rides off into the sunset. This is also a modified version of Ghost Rider's bike, I think. And then this one is the winner. This is the Logan from the Sabretooth 2-pack this year. Absolute winner between like the working, nice new claws, the nice thick claws, and then also just, they painted his chest hair, his arm hair. They gave him a nice head sculpt, a couple nice head sculpts that aren't like, oh, that looks weird. It looks right. And I like that he's got, the button-up shirt. And I think that's really cool. So it's very nice to have some variations of the character, and nice to have options. All right, here we have some team-specific looks for Wolverine, just some suit modifications. I guess we'll start with X-Force. This is the X-Force, the gray and black color versions. This is actually like some new molded parts, things we would see later on like brown suit Wolverine for Krakoa era. He had those gloves and boots, but some really cool stuff. This is the first one to have thick claws. Maybe are a little thick, but I'd rather have thick than too thin. We've got the X-Men 275, the training uniform Wolverine. Pretty good head on him as well. Overall, outside They did make these thicker and sturdier, which is nice, but pretty nice mold too. It's actually kind of interesting they made a new mold, considering they don't reuse. I don't know if they're going to reuse any of that. But then we also have, this guy just came in yesterday. He just made the cut. This is the Fantastic Four uniform Logan from Empire. So Empire is a crossover where stuff was happening, and the main Fantastic Four were off fighting in alien stuff. And so Franklin and Valeria, who was Reed Sue's kids, they were left at home, and then they had this machine that, you know, if something dangerous happens, they can call on reserve members of the Fantastic Four, and they're able to summon Wolverine and Spider-Man. So this was a 2-pack with Spider-Man, and it just came out. I just got it, and I was like, oh, cool, we can put Fantastic Four Wolverine in here. So pretty cool. I like that Wolverine's another one of those characters, like Deadpool, where you can get a team-specific look for him, and it'll just slot right in with a matching team set. All right, here's our movie Wolverine. I just talked about this guy. I'm not going to go too deep into him. He was featured prominently in my Where Are the Fox X-Men Marvel Legends video, just kind of talking about the history of the Fox X-Men in Marvel Legends. He covers multiple movies because he was in this white tank top look. The thing I did want to bring up is I couldn't find my old ToyBiz Wolverine figures, but I did find the Rogue. This Rogue was in a 2-pack with a Logan. There's a scene in the first X-Men movie, which I guess spoilers, I don't know, the movie's 25 years old next year. But anyways, there's a scene in the movie where Rogue gets stabbed by Wolverine because she surprises him in the middle of the night. And so this figure has a gimmick. She was in a 2-pack with a Logan, and that Logan could punch her in the stomach, and the claws would pop out the back. So it looks like, so it's to recreate the scene where he stabs her, which, by the way, the original ToyBiz X-Men movie line is gruesome, gross, and kind of weird, and I want to cover it at some point. I got to dig up these figures, but this is just an example of, you know, also spoilers for the movie, but like it's got like this thing where he stabs her, and so the gimmick is that you push the button and his claws pop out the back. So this technically counts as a Wolverine figure because his claws are right there. It's very, very funny. Also, this figure is like super loose, and her articulation is kind of weird. But there you go. Wanted to give you something different than just look at this Wolverine we already just talked about in another video. All right, here's some solo Wolverines. We've got the black suit, the Madripoor look. There also was the face that he came with that had like the mesh mask thing. Didn't like that one too much. Just had to give him the eye patch, like the patch look. This one did come with Muramasa, which is pretty cool. And it's a neat figure. I don't exactly know why I bought it. I think it maybe, did he come with Muramasa? Hope he did. I have mixed up the parts on a lot of Wolverine figures, so I apologize if I misspeak on any of this. But this was just like, oh, it's a Wolverine costume version I didn't have. Yeah, there's a lot of those. And then this other one, I actually really like this one. This is the Weapon X. This is Wolverine when he was in Weapon X training, when they put the adamantium in him, and then later how he escaped. This was pretty impressive that it came out at retail, considering he's wearing one piece of clothing and it's just a Speedo. But it was pretty cool that we even got this figure. It's one of those classic designs. It's just so iconic from the original Weapon X miniseries that I think it's just, you know, it had to be made. And it turned out pretty nice. He also came with an extra head too, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, pretty nice. Just a couple extra Wolverines. I didn't know where else to categorize them. All right, here we have some alternate universe Wolverines. We've got the Old Man Logan. This is specifically like the Marvel Now version when they gave him his own series, and then later he came over to the main universe. Brown jacket, kind of mutton chops look. I got this because like I need at least one Old Man Logan. I didn't get the later one that was based on the original the actual original storyline for Old Man Logan because I thought this was enough for me. Honestly, it is. We've got the Days of Future Past Wolverine, which came in the 2-pack with the Sentinel. I love Days of Future Past a whole lot. I don't love this head as a Logan head, like when I talked about it on the tank top version, but I like it as the old grumpy like Logan. That works for me. He's got the gray in his hair. He's got the pistol. Pretty cool stuff. We've got the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, the infamous like, you know, cut off hand, and there's another hand, like another cap thing that allows you to have it with the claws. He still has the claws. I always really liked this design. I kind of liked how he looked a little bit more feral, but still was kind of reserved in the fact he's still Wolverine, he's still Logan, but he's not like the Berserker Beast, but he's got a little bit of edge, which is pretty cool. And then we have the Ultimate Universe Wolverine. This is my first Wolverine Marvel Legend, guys. It's not a good first one. First of all, I don't like Ultimate Universe Wolverine that much. Second of all, I don't like the original Ultimate Universe that much either. I have this figure because he had a blob part, but it's so funny when I look at this guy and I'm like, what is with this gangly mess? This was when Hasbro first started Marvel Legends. They were following ToyBiz's model, but they didn't have like the ToyBiz. The thing about ToyBiz that people still like about them is they're so articulated. I don't like that. I think they have too many joints and it breaks a lot of sculpts. But like he doesn't have toe joints or anything, and he's just really awkward, and he's got these stupid hips. I hate these hips. We have to rotate them to move them forward. Like, it's just so much of a painful experience when like modern Legends are just ball jointed and they just move. It's just, I much prefer the way that Marvel Legends has evolved compared to the early days, and this is a perfect example of that, because I don't like anything about this one. But I have him. I have him because he had a part for Blob. That's the reason why. Here's the baby Wolverine from the Mojo World set. This is pretty much, it's based on the Scotty Young art, which is not so much like the X-Babies style that Mojo World originally had, but it exists. It came with the Mojo and the Dazzler and the Long Shot that I wanted, so it was like, okay, that's cool. It's okay. I'm not like demanding extra X-Babies at this point. Not something I like super liked too much. So it's just one of those things. But he exists. There he is. All right, so this segment's called The Kids. This is just the legacy of Wolverine, essentially. Let's move Laura out of the way for a little bit. Here we have Daken, Akihiro himself, when he was Dark Wolverine. This was during Dark Reign when Norman Osborn had the Dark Avengers. This was their replacement for Wolverine. It was basically like villains posing as the Avengers kind of thing. Sort of like Thunderbolts originally was, but a little different. This is, of course, Akihiro, Daken. He's got the iconic tattoo, the double bone-clawed look. This is before he got adamantium. And this is, I think, off of some old Wolverine mold with like toe joints and stuff. It's so lanky. It's so old. This came out in like 2012, I want to say. This is like early Return of Marvel Legends era. The nice part about it is that because of going off an old Wolverine mold where the scale's wrong, he is taller than his father, which is appropriate. He should be. He actually got the tall gene. So he is supposed to be taller than Logan, and you have that going on, so it's nice. But I really have been wanting them to make a new Daken figure, and it's about time. This is rough. This is rough for his only figure in one variant with a different head to be. All right, and then over in the Laura Kinney category, we first got the X-Force X-23, which is pretty cool. It's kind of neat. It's kind of interesting we didn't get the original X-23 look first. We did get the X-Force version, but I like it. I like the swooshing hair look to it, very dynamic. And then we got the Wolverine herself with Laura when she became Wolverine after Logan's death. And I like this costume design a whole lot. That being said, because so many advancements have been made with the female Marvel Legends molds lately, giving them double jointed elbows, giving them bicep swivels, giving them, butterfly shoulders, I would love to see a new Laura Wolverine, especially because now she's got a yellow and black suit. This is the yellow and blue, and I think we could do better. And hopefully the paint is better, because you can see how this color just doesn't match at all. But overall, it's nice for Logan's kids to get represented. And all I have to say is we need a Gabby Kenny. We need a Honey Badger, just at minimum. So that's every Wolverine figure I own, and this was a heck of an adventure going through all of these. And to think that I still have more Wolverines somewhere in my collection that I could not find for this video is kind of crazy. This is one of the most prominent characters in Marvel history and one of the most prominent in my collection because I just really love Wolverine. Just top tier stuff for me. And absolutely love just picking up any Wolverine figure. I never have a problem with that. So on that note, if you haven't already, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe and notification bell. Help this video, help this channel. Really do appreciate that. Leave any comments down below. Tell me your favorite Wolverine figure. Tell me one that I didn't include that you really love that I may not have. Put them down in the comments. Let's have a chat. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the channel if you haven't already. You can also join us for live streams on this YouTube channel every Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern. You can join our Discord server in the link below to come continue the discussion about toys, comics, movies, and etc. You can also help support the channel directly if you'd like. Becoming a channel member will give you perks like early access to videos, member-exclusive live streams, and special shoutouts. Now let's give some of our channel members a special shoutout. Special shoutout to our channel members, including our Captain Tiers, Spin-54, Super Shaddix Boom, Tom McKay, Master Ben 95, Swapsito 14, Mohammed Faiz Daniel, SSJ4 Jason, Scrub Lord Gaming, and Psycho O's. And thank you to everybody who helps support this channel through the channel memberships as well as watching the videos. You can find me across social media at most platforms at Soundout12. You can find my awesome graphic designer on social media and Discord at DarkClaw643. You can find Hero Club at hero-club.com for entertainment news and more. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye, bub.